Yes YouTube, welcome back to another video and thanks for joining me. So in today's video we're going to be replacing the old Tropica C02 system, so the Nano system, with a suitable replacement. I'll be doing the unboxing of that today and setting that up. So if that's something that interests you, then please stay tuned. Without further ado, let's just get on with this unboxing. Come on, let's get on with it. Move. Go. Okay, so like I said in today's video, we're going to be getting rid of the old, let's get it out, this starter Tropica C02 system. Now, a lot of people told me not to buy it. There's plenty of information out there online to say, don't waste your money, get a proper system. But if you were like me and wanted to dabble in CO2 for the first time and didn't really understand a great deal about it, then this was probably quite an appealing prospect. So, learned the hard way, spent the money, didn't really like it. I'll make a full video on the reasons why, but just briefly. The diffuser it comes with leaks CO2 out the rim. The CO2 then also blasts off the hose to it there. So if you can see, but I've super glued it on. Not great, the regulator's a bit naff and leaks CO2 out the sides there. So not a great system. Great start, got an understanding a little bit about CO2 in a simpler way. But today's video is going to be aimed at opening and unboxing and setting up this new CO2 system. So let's go ahead and dig into the box. Can't find my knife, so we'll use some trimming shears. Okay, so this system I bought from a company called C02 Supermarket. Actually a really amazing company. I've been emailing them for the past couple of months, looking into CO2 for some of the other tanks and looking to get a system with one bottle and multiple outlets as well for all the tanks. And when we get the ADA rack set up, we'll be doing that. So they probably are sick of me emailing them constantly with questions, but the service at C02 Supermarket is absolutely amazing, so helpful. Send you the links with your purchases, how to set it up, and loads of different things. But worth noting, sorry, I'm just a bit thirsty. But it's worth noting that, but just to point out, I'm not getting sponsored with this video in any way. They're not paying me, or I haven't had this for free or any way at all. I just like to try and promote companies that I think that promote a good service and good products, good price, and help you out choosing your own products. So let's see what's in the box. And I'll give you a full breakdown of what's in this box as well, so don't worry. So it looks like we've got the we've got the pH checker, I suppose, so with some formula to put in there. Great. I think that is the drop checker. Nice. Amazing. What else have we got? We've got a box with the regulator in it. Now this is something that's a lot better about this system. It has a solenoid on it. And for those of you who are not sure exactly what I'm on about, is this little thing here, the black thing. And that enables me to then be able to plug it in, put it on timer, and turns off in the night, comes on in the morning. So amazing, a lot better already. Looks like well made, solid metal. And this is a single stage regulator as well, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. Get rid of the rubbish. And we've got a diffuser, which I'm not going to use this one because I've already bought another one for it. We've got the stand for the bottle, because this is a nano system. Got some tubing, amazing. And finally we should have the CO2 bottles. Now this one does come with a bottle, so I ordered an extra 2 just to have some on hand. Snazzy little bottles. A bit narrower than the Tropica one, but hopefully it lasts a lot longer because it doesn't leak. So that's all that's in the box. Okay, so why don't we get this CO2 system set up? So like I showed you, and you would have seen all the bits and bobs. So obviously this is the CO2 cylinder. So great sturdy piece of work. What I did notice when I unpacked it is it's got a little base, but the base doesn't quite fit. But there's these 3 little rings. Put it on here, one at a time probably. And then it sits in tidily like, well, it did earlier. There we go. So it sits in nice and sturdy. Amazing. Okay, so let's get the regulator set up. So quite a straightforward system really, and the good thing about C02 Supermarket is they do have a YouTube channel and they got demonstrations how to set up all their equipment and products, so always very useful if you're not too familiar with these sort of setups. But let's get on with this. So what we need to do here is, I think what we'll install the bottle first. So we just need to make sure that this tap at the top here and this one here is turned off, otherwise you're going to have all the CO2 coming out. So we'll turn that off, and we'll also turn this off. Can't see the gauge. There we go. So those two should both now be off, and we can install the bottle. So as seen earlier, we added the rings to the bottle to fit in the stand correctly. So what you need to do is take the bottle, screw it into the bottom here. Now you probably will feel a bit of resistance at some point just because it needs to pop. Let's make sure that's off. And there we go. So that's nice and tightly fitted in there. So we'll hold that in there for the time being. Stay. There we go. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is install the bubble counter. Now I filled this 2/3 of the way up with water, and this is just regular tap water. So I'm going to need to remove the nut from the top here, which is where the CO2 comes out. So just take that off because we need to replace it with the bubble counter itself. There we go. And then we just screw this on here, which is a little bit tight, but just make sure it's on there nice and snug. There we go, so that's fitted on there nicely. So what we need to do now is we need to install the tubing, which is here. So just simple clear tubing, and I'm not gonna need that much. That's probably gonna be more than enough. So we'll see if I can do this with the shears. No, probably gonna need a cutter, wait there. Okay, so we've got a pair of scissors, which is probably not the best tool to do it, but it'll do the job for now. I think that's probably enough, and I've got plenty of spare if it's not. There we go. Nice clean cut, amazing. So now what we need to do is remove this cap from the bubble counter. Like so. Feed it through the pipe. You see there, and then we can install this onto the nipple. I probably should have warmed this up, but we'll go with it. There you go, so probably should have warmed it up, it was a bit of a struggle we got there. So we'll feed this down the pipe and screw that on tight. Amazing. And then that's pretty much our system set up. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna fix this because it keeps wobbling. And down there. Ah, that's better. Okay. Push those down there, stop it wobbling around. Amazing. So I am gonna have to use the diffuser that come with it. Like I said earlier, I did get another one, which is a nicer glass one, but I can't find it anywhere. So once I find that, we replace it. I'm not a big fan of these, but it'll do for now. And it's better there's some CO2 in the system. So what I'm gonna do is unscrew this here. And then again, probably should have warmed this up. It'll allow me to add this, whoops. I need to feed that on, yeah. Feed that on there again, like we did with the other one. Push it on to the reactor. Again, hoping I don't break it because I haven't warmed the tube up. Again, it's all nice and tight, and screw on. So, all we need to do now is just test it. So I'm not going to put this in the tank quite yet. I'm going to just test it out and make sure we set the pressure. So it comes with a little USB plug. Plug it in there. I've got a handy little power point down here. Okay, and then turn it on. So we should see that the regulator gauge is pretty much on 0. So I want to turn this up now to add some pressure on, and we should want to do it about 0.3, which is about half the way. And you'll start it to rise. There we go. There we go. So that's roughly about right there. I don't know if you can see, with the needle valve is there. Cool. So why don't we head over to the tank and get this bad boy in. Okay, so this is the tank. I'm not going to do a water change on it today. It does need one. As you can see, some of the algae start to come back there. That probably needs taken out, but we're not going to save that for another video, just because I think you've seen this tank have a water change enough recently. There's a little bit back there on the HRR as well. But let the shrimp doing really well, fish doing really well. Just got a bit of algae, but something to note that we do have a really high light on this tank, which without CO2 is inevitably going to get some algae. So adding this system will hopefully help us out in that respect, and we can keep the highlight system, keep the plants as healthy as possible, and have a better success with this tank like we did originally before my Tropica system broke down. That's enough of me moaning about them. Let's crack on. Okay, so now we've got that set up. We probably won't see bubbles coming out of this straight away. It'll take a while. So we'll leave that settle in. And now I've currently got this set on about 2 bubbles every second. So you're better off starting off slow and building it up rather than doing it the other way around. You don't want to be over CO2 in your tank. Is that even a term? Yeah, well, it is now. So we'll keep an eye on this, and it may change, so the bubbles might go up or down. And I'll just keep an eye on that and make sure it's set at the right level. So how do you know it's the right level? Well, I've got a little pH checker up here. So it's showing blue at the moment, and that means there's not enough CO2 in the tank. So we'll keep an eye on that and get it to a lime green where it should be. Okay, so a quick little update on that tank, and obviously we've added a new CO2 system as well. And like I said, go check C02 Supermarket out. I'll leave the links to their YouTube channel, their Instagram, their website in the description, so go and check them out. If you're new to CO2, then definitely a company that'll help you out and guide you along the way. Again, like I said, new to me, learning every day, but an amazing company. Go check them out. But this tank, hopefully now we'll start to make gradual changes and get it back to the way that it was, tackle the algae issues, eventually get rid of the snails, and go from there. But we are going to be putting a new racking system in here. We're going to be putting wood shelving in, and then replacing the tanks with nicer quality tanks, which are probably going to be 88 tanks and probably 60Ps. But there's been a lot of informational videos coming out lately, care and how to set things up and that sort of thing. But I finally got the plastic sheets to do out Bert's enclosure, the panther chameleon, and I've booked a week off work next week. And I'll be committing that week to getting that done. So make sure you don't miss out on that video. And as always, if you can hit that subscribe button, as well as hit that notification bell so you don't miss out any future videos. But I'd like to get your guys' thoughts. Would you like to see this in one big build video, or would you like to break it up into smaller videos? So let me know in the comment section down below. But as always, if you can drop me that thumbs up to show YouTube you're enjoying this sort of content, leave me a comment and allows me to make more videos like these. But I think that's enough of me waffling on for one day. I'll see you in the next video.